Welcome back once again to another Puzzling Time video. Now today I'm not going to do a puzzle review and I'm not going to do a solve. What I'm going to do is show you some of my unsolved puzzles. Now, like most puzzlers, I probably buy quicker than I solve. And the reason for that is just because I've got a job and I don't have time to just sit down every single day and solve puzzles. So I have a box that I keep to one side and I put my new puzzles into it, and then when I get a chance I take the box out and I can see the puzzles I want to work on. Now some of those puzzles I end up working on and I put to one side, so things like 8x8 square, which is a Rick Van Groll puzzle, is kind of in its mostly assembled state on a shelf, and I keep kind of going to it on and off, and I have been doing for a number of weeks. And before that it was packed away because I'd already had a good go at it and failed. But hopefully I'll be able to kind of crack that nut. And there are a few nice looking kind of burr pieces that I'll just keep on the shelf. I don't tend to display my puzzles, but there's the odd one that's just there waiting. What else I've got around the house? I've got Snake Pack 2, which is downstairs, which I'm going to play with all the time. So there are other puzzles around the house, but generally speaking, my unsolved puzzles tend to end up in a box. And here is said box. And this probably holds kind of, 90% of my unsolved puzzles at the moment. So I'm going to kind of talk you through these puzzles, where I got them from, and give you a flavour of kind of the puzzles I'm into at the moment. This is a nice little box, by the way. I can pick this up, I can take this outside, I can put this on the table downstairs when I've got a cup of coffee and see what kind of grabs my interest. First one kind of probably standing out is this bright yellow lettering, Taiyaki, which is the third of 3 puzzles by Frederick Voucher, produced by Osho Puzzling. Now, I think I've spoken about puzzling before. I tend to do a couple of purchases from them a year. Really good place to kind of buy cheap puzzles, but by really good puzzle designers, so they're really good puzzles. This is actually the third of 3, and I didn't even know this existed. So I've got Sukiyaki and Takoyaki, and this was just as I was browsing, kind of jumped out and it caught my interest. Wow, this exists as well. And I looked into it, and it's because this is the third and final one. So I'm looking forward to solving this. A lot of these puzzles, by the way, they're not solved now because I like to sit down and take my time solving puzzles. I don't like to get something and solve it that day. I tend to kind of want to just have the right moment and kind of enjoy the solve, especially if I'm spending money on an expensive puzzle, and this wasn't too expensive, but it's a nice expensive puzzle. I like to take my time with it and fully understand it and fully appreciate it. Because I mentioned puzzling, I'll also go through these two. Now these are from 2 different purchases. This one came just a couple of weeks ago, along with a couple of other packing puzzles. And a lot of these are like IPP ones or voucher ones. I've just completed Toolbox 2 yesterday, which has an extremely hard first challenge to it, and then the other 5 challenges are relatively simple. So Toolbox 2 is a good one. I don't know what this one's like. I'm going to have to get my Google Translate onto this. Obviously a fairly old puzzle. Something about 3x5. So I don't know. I'll obviously translate this. I'll look at the rules and work out what this weird square bump is for. I think it's a double-sided frame, if I remember correctly. So there's that to look at, and then the other one from puzzling. This was from a few months ago. Now when I got this, one of these raised laser cut pieces had come off, so I actually kind of glued that back on. It might have even been this piece. But these puzzles, typically they tend to be like £11 or £12 or something like that. So you can buy a fair few of them relatively cheaply, and they offer a lot of replayability. This one, I'm quite good at slide puzzles, so I don't think this will be too difficult. quite confident I can do that. I kind of know what the trick will be. Yeah, there's a little trick there. I'll be able to kind of solve that no problem. What else do we have? So I said why I want a Japanese theme. These two. So this is actually 2/3 solved. This is again another 2014 puzzle like the IPP 34s. It's the same year, and this one is to create equilateral triangles. One large one, or 2 medium ones, or 3 small ones. And I've done the 3 small ones, and I've done the large one. I think it's the 2 medium ones that I've got to still solve on that. That's the kind of puzzle I can do just in front of the kind of TV without thinking, really. This one is a silhouette puzzle where you've got to take these pieces and these bird pieces and create 2 different images. I think one's of them flying one way and one of them flying. One of them's flying both in, and one of them might be flying out like this. So again, this is half solved. I've done half of this. I always do enjoy the puzzles from mine. They're very well made and well packaged. That was just an acrylic puzzle. Probably getting on to kind of some harder ones here. This one is weirdly the bane of my life because some people solve this without any issue whatsoever, which is the Hanayama cast Trinity. And of all the Hanayamas I've got, I mean, I've got that many. I've got like 13, 14. This one keeps tripping me up, and I keep getting stuck. I like to understand the Hanayamas, and this one I don't quite understand as I'm going through it. So I'm struggling with this, but one day I will kind of solve it. I've had it about 18 months now. I've not solved it, so hopefully one day I'll get that sorted. Detanglements. Here's a detanglement I always look out for, which is the Dick Hess ones. Now, this is a two puzzle one. I've already done the first puzzle. So that first puzzle is to take the pieces off, and then the second one is just to change the orientation of them. Always worth looking out for a Dick Hess puzzle when they come onto kind of the auctions, because they tend to go at a reasonable price, and they're well packaged, they're beautifully made. There's these very unique ring pieces that he uses, which are actually quite similar to the kind of ring pieces you get in Eureka bottles, the old Eureka bottles. And then we have these nice wooden kind of dowels on the end, rather than it's like a ball or whatever. And they do tend to make shapes, so maybe less so on this one, but certainly on kind of cowboys and rodeo riders, it's called. You can see the shapes there and stuff. Another almost completed one is this, which is I think it's called Swimming the Channel Swimming. And the idea of this puzzle is to start with the kind of ball bearing at the bottom, and then you have to slide the pieces in such a way that we get the blue piece all the way to the top, and the swimmer, which is in this channel connected by a magnet, makes it all the way to the top. So it's an interesting take on a slide puzzle in that the blue piece always has to be on the extreme left. There's 6 challenges with this. If I just get the instructions out, you'll notice these 2 little dowels here as well. Put my hand over this. They go in the back, so you can kind of rest it on the table and you play with it on a slight angle, so you know you're not cheating by rolling. So there's 6 challenges in this. I've done the first 3, and I've got 3 to go. They really start ramping up. I've done 42 and 55 moves, 93 moves, but then I've got 104, 65 and 167 move on to do, so quite a lot. You can see that it's the boat, the swimmer, so that's the boat that would go with the swimmer as he crosses the channel. And they've all got nice little titles as well. You know, the storm tide, heavy traffic, jellyfish, Armageddon challenges. Because there's 6 challenges, I want to do them all. If there was like 50 challenges, I'd probably spot pick a couple of easy ones, a couple of medium ones, and then like the 2 longest or the 2 hardest. I wouldn't necessarily try and do them all. But I'm enjoying doing that. Now we get into probably the kind of longer ones for the most part. This is my latest cubic dissection order. Not even opened yet. This is another Frederick Boucher, one of my favourite designers. And this is Bonbon. And the idea is to pack all these pieces into this. Well, it smells beautiful. This beautiful wooden frame, wooden pieces, and really looking forward to solving that. But because I'm looking forward to solving it, I've just got to take my time, savor the moment. Don't, you know, rip the box open as soon as you get it. Patience is a virtue. I'm trying to teach my son about delayed gratification when it comes to waiting for stuff, but I don't think he quite gets it at the age of 4. From the same CD delivery, this from the month before. Again, I'm not even taking this one out of its bag. This is Box Rebellion, so we can see the pieces are wrapped up, and this is to put these 4L pieces in this box. Very looking forward to playing with that one again. So hopefully at some point I'll get this one under my belt. But I'm in no rush. Just when I get a chance. You know, weeks go by without me buying puzzles, and that's when I can catch up on these that I'm behind. A little blast from the past here. This is Dinia Namdarian's African Mask. Certainly looking forward to solving this at some point. I found it quite difficult when I attempted it the first time round. I feel like I've got a better understanding now of slide puzzles than when I bought this. So when I go back to it, I'm hoping for better progress. You'll never guess who. Frederick Boucher. This is Slow Motion. I think this was meant to be his IPP exchange puzzle for 2020. It never took place. It's incredibly difficult, but I will at some point work this out, and I've got a few ideas actually since I last attempted this, so I probably need to get that one back out and have a good look at it again. This is, you can tell just by looking at it, is an Alphonse Ekisman's Burr puzzle. Now this is loosened up a little bit, it's not too tight for an Alphonse, but even so I probably put it on the radiator for an hour or 2 before I played with it. Beautiful colouring, very tricky. I think there's a label in here that explains just how difficult it is. Here we go. First move is 24 moves now, and then it just basically just falls apart after that. Now I've played with this and I've got to about 19 moves, and I've been taking photos as I go so I can put it back together. And I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track, but then at about 19 I'm getting a bit locked up in finding a few more dead ends. There's lots of dead ends in this. I'm happily confident that I'm in the right track, but just a bit kind of stuck at the moment. Down here at the bottom, this is a Robert Lounge puzzle. Solved quite a lot of his. I think my favourite is Visible Maze, Labyrinth puzzle. This one reminds me a little bit of kind of Remove the Yoke, and it probably reminds me a bit like that. One, because of kind of the movement of it, but secondly, I can't solve it very easily. I think it's going to be a very precise puzzle. Not kind of sure what's going on inside fully. A couple of ideas, but yeah, I need to have a go at trying to get that one solved. And then the final two Puzzle Master puzzles. This one, which is Sapphire. I can't remember who designed Sapphire. Was it? It doesn't say on the packaging, but I'll mention it. I'll put a link below. These are really nice puzzles. I've just solved actually Caster 5, and ages ago I solved Chasma, which is a really nice puzzle. I quite like those two, and I'm getting similar vibes off this, and hopefully this is one I kind of build up to, which is Crossover, which is as kind of big as I think I would go with this lot. There's one called Delphi or the Beast or something like that. They seem like really tough, but there's definitely a couple of these that feel like they're obtainable for me. But I want to sit down, take my time over them. So there we go. I've got there 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Count as I put them in rather than just as I grab them. 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's a bit of a puzzle getting them back in now. 14, 15, 16-ish puzzles I think there. So loads to go at, and as you can see, lots of different types, from kind of bird puzzles, packing puzzles, detanglements, slide puzzles. I really kind of do like a full range to play with. I know it's been a long video, and it's probably been boring for, for the most part. But if you do have any questions about any of these puzzles, I'm more than happy to answer them. So just comment below, and I'll happily write back. Okay, speak to you all very soon. Bye for now.